What is good? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chuck. Thank you very much for being here. Hope you're having a lovely week or break or whatever that means for you. This week, we have a lot to talk about today and the Monday market update. Um, as we're watching, I am literally just keeping an eye because we are starting to get Pokemon Center backend notifications, I guess, for a potential pre-order release for assumingly PCTBs and I would assume some other products here in the set. So this is kind of what a lot of eyes are on this week. Of course, we're getting a lot of Black Friday boxes and collection boxes and things of that nature. But this is the main story this week. I'm going to be going over some different sets, what I think is going to kind of happen throughout the rest of the year and then into next year too. And talk about some pretty good buying opportunities, in my opinion, and sets that I'm going to be targeting, which we'll probably do a longer video on that, maybe on Wednesday. But TBD on that. But speaking of Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a 1-day, very quick giveaway on that day. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. I'll be putting out more information on that on Wednesday, of course, but it's going to be a very quick, like, hey, here's the video, here's the drop, because we are hosting Thanksgiving this year and I'm doing a lot of cooking and I'm going to be very busy this week, unfortunately, and I have to work too. So, just some thoughts I have there. I just want to get them out to you guys. So if I'm a little delayed on some things, you probably know why, but I'm looking forward to it. And congrats to the most recent giveaway winner who just won this Infernape V box. You can kind of see behind me in my really awesome background. I might add my, best background in the game is what people have been telling me. It looks like, my mom's guest bedroom, which it's really not that far off. It's my own guest bedroom. So let's get right into it. Ascended Rivals. You can tell where my brain is at today. Ascended Heroes coming out January 30th. We are only getting the tech stickers on that day, on the day of release. Good luck getting these in store. I think the set's going to be really good. I think it's going to be difficult to get product in the beginning, but we'll see. We'll see. ETBs pushed back to February. PC ETBs pushed back to February, and everything else. Poster boxes, which are probably the coolest looking products that we're getting from these, with the promos inside as well. Very interesting. Push back to March. And then the booster bundle is in April. That's like, April to me just feels so far away. We're going to probably be having another set be released at that point, whatever that one is. But look, like, I'm excited for this set. On the Gengar alone, I think it's going to be solid, but we're getting Charizard Y. We're getting, like, what, 30 SIRs or whatever. You can't tell me that the set isn't going to be good. I just don't believe that. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's a special set. It's the Japanese high-class set. Those are usually good. And do I think it's going to change the course of the Pokemon hobby forever? Not really. I think macro economics and those types of factors that we've covered quite a bit on this channel, especially in the last few videos, are factoring more into that. But look, we have a lot of drops in the collection boxes for Black Friday, different releases at Sam's and Costco, and people are spending money on gifts and groceries. And I just think, the way that the market is moving right now, there's not a lot of good news in the future. So things are kind of stagnant at the moment. But I do believe that creates good buying opportunities generally, but especially in the world of Pokemon. Because remember, we are here for the long term. I'm buying for the long term. I'm not buying for a month from now, 2 months from now. I bought surging boxes at $200 because in 3 years, I know they're going to be at least double what they are now. And to me, that represents a very good ROI with very minimal downside risk, in my opinion. So that's what we're here for. Ever wondered what your collection is worth? Well, the Shiny app is here to help. It allows you to track all the prices of your products and updates 2 times per day. The Shiny app pulls data from both eBay and TCG Player to keep your collection's value as accurate as possible. Not to mention, it has the most seamless user interface in the game. I love using it. I love how it looks. It's so easy to use. And the best part is, it is totally free. The links are down below if you'd like to try it out. Thanks again, Shiny. Speaking of recent things, short term, Phantasmal Flames obviously dropping in price, starting to be massed release in vending machines. I've heard that we're going to get a second wave on this set in general. Not a ton of demand for cards outside of the Mega Charizard SAR. And even that is dropping in price somewhat, which is to be expected. The pull rates aren't very hard. The set is brand new. You know, singles across the hobby are dropping in general, and that's especially going to be true for new sets. So just keep that in mind. There's still a lot of like decent buying pressure out there. It's just, I think there are better opportunities in sealed. I mean, that's always been the mantra of this channel anyway, is sealed over singles. But look, I mean, Phantasmal, it's not the best set in the world, don't get me wrong, but this card will carry this set into the future. So if you're getting a box here and there at MSRP, like, brother, you're going to be good. Just don't overthink it. And don't overpay for any products, in my opinion. I think the story is kind of the same for Mega Evolution. I prefer Mega Evolution to Phantasmal. I think the set is better. It has better cards. Mega Latias is like sub $100, which is kind of crazy. And gem rates are going to be pretty good on the Mega block in general, which probably means that PSA 10s won't have as big of a premium. It'll be interesting to see. We still haven't gotten a ton of those back yet from being graded since the set only came out a couple months ago. But Lucario, Gardevoir, two popular Pokemon. Venusaur, Latias, two relatively popular Pokemon. I think the set will do well. If you're buying boxes close to $200, which, believe it or not, $250 is not really what this is selling for. I know it's selling on TCG Player, which I guess is good from an investor standpoint. But you can find these locally, $220 and under, pretty much all day long, in my opinion. I've actually passed on some boxes just because I have a few now, and I'm like, I'm just gonna hold off for a minute, see what I can get out of vending machines and that type of thing, which I haven't checked because I'm lazy. But Mega Evolution, the Mega Block in general, I think is shaping up to be phenomenal. And anybody who says otherwise is literally, they have not been here a long time. I don't know what to say. Mega Evolution Block gonna be sick. Just wait till Wind and Wave comes out and the generation is trash. People are going to look back to Sword and Shield, they're going to look back to Scarlet and Violet, and they're going to look back to Mega Evolution, a set that will be currently in print by the time that releases next year. So, Mega Evolution, probably a decent time to get some booster boxes here and there, but don't go crazy. Destined Rivals, a set that I definitely think we're going to be getting a lot more product for. Hint, hint, maybe, with all the Ascended Heroes delays, maybe we'll be getting Destined Rivals. Who knows? It would make sense considering the set came out in May and we've barely gotten anything for it. We did have a tiny little wave of booster boxes from the Pokemon Center, about 15,000 boxes or so. Those got bought up. The price has now recovered back to like $380. So I don't know. I have a side quest for Destined Rivals, and that's literally just buy products at MSRP and put them in a box. But since I've announced that, I literally haven't been able to contribute to it at all, which is kind of funny. And also a little bit sad because I like opening this set. I like collecting this set. It's a great set, and I want more of it. And it's Team Rocket, and the products look cool, and the top cards are cool. And it's just one that you're going to want exposure to long term. My plan, honestly, is probably to grab a box here and there over the next year. Assuming we get reprints, assuming we don't, I'll just dollar cost average long term. Not super worried about it. If we get a big wave of boxes, I will be doing everything I can to get them. But honestly, for $350, $360, I'll grab a box here and there, maybe every couple months or something. And I'm looking actually to buy another box before the end of the year. I'll FOMO into it. It's fine. I'll hold on to it. I just know long term 360 versus 200. Like, I know this is going to be a very well performing box in the future. We all know it's going to be $1,000. So your entry point is not guaranteed. But what is guaranteed is that it's going to go up in price eventually. Hold it for 2-3 years, 5 years, whatever you want to call it. You're going to be glad you did and wish you had more. And that is how I approach this space. So, shout out to Smiter Cards, by the way. Loyal supporter. Check out his store on TCG Player. Maybe on Cyber Monday sale. Anyway, moving on, Prismatic. Obviously, not a lot happening right now. We are getting these figure collection boxes, which to me are super overpriced. But yeah, we got a couple more Lucario boxes at Sam's in like Michigan recently. Really, the next thing for this set is we're getting potentially, it seems like some ETB boxes in December, Sam's Club or Costco. I don't remember which one. Of course, I will be going to get those, no doubt about it. Cards are still holding very well. The set value is what, well over $4,000, and it will probably maintain this type of set value, like where it's very high. It's not going to drop below 2,000 or anything like that. Indefinitely, and then eventually raise again, kind of like we saw with Evolving Skies. It's only going to age well, in my opinion. I know people are concerned about the crowns, but I think the arts are good enough to offset that, especially the Umbreon, which, in my opinion, is one of the best cards of the era, no doubt about it. And so Prismatic is just a set. My philosophy has always been the same, and I've probably missed out on money because of it, but I've capitalized on other opportunities, which is buy at MSRP and hold. And that is literally all I've done. And I have 15 ETBs, bunch of bundles, bunch of poster cases, just like random stuff. But, in the future, I'll probably trim some of the more ancillary stuff. But, like, there's basically no downside, in my opinion, to MSRP. And there are still opportunities out there to get it. And I know I'll get flamed in the comments for that because, yeah, I could have bought cases at 90, which would have been a great play. But I just am doing the best that I can and minimizing my downside risk. And I have no downside risk on this set. It's all pretty much upside from here, and I'll continue to keep buying from this point forward. And I think if you're relatively new to the hobby, it's a good opportunity too. And I definitely want to get some more SBCs in my portfolio as well. So hopefully we get more of those in the future. But Prismatic, it's a beast. Don't let anybody tell you different. It's going to keep performing well. It's almost a year old at this point, which is crazy to say. I'm going to keep buying through next year, and I'll be happy I did. Surging Sparks, a little bit worse of a set, but not bad. Booster boxes still selling for about 200 locally. They're definitely starting to dry up. I don't think they're in vending machines hardly anymore. And when you look at the volume of the set, even during its peak, even during the peak, which was like September, we are over that volume on this box, which means there's a ton of support as the price continues to drop. I don't believe this box will really ever go to MSRP, in my opinion. Maybe that's a hot take. But look, it's a year old. It does have demand. Vivid also had demand, but Surging actually has a lot more quality in the set. And this is a set that got a lot of people into the hobby. Quite frankly, wow, it does sound familiar to Vivid. I understand that. But look, pretty decent set value, all things considered. Top 3 chase cards, very, very strong, as well as some other decent illustration rares, I might add. Pikachu, Latias, Milotic, all very solid arts in a $200 box. It's $200 is like basically MSRP by the time you factor in tax. You're paying like 10% more on like 175, right? It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And I know a lot of people, including myself, are capitalizing on that. And no, it's not the best box of the era, but for that price point, I just don't see a ton of risk. You know what I mean? And if it drops further, I think even then it would be a good buy. But I don't know. I'm happy with my with what I have on it. I feel very strong about it, and I still think it's a great play in the space. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I just can't imagine we get a huge wave of Surging boxes after what they just put out, which in my opinion was a pretty big reprint. Pretty big reprint. And Rudy made a very good point in his video recently, if you watched it. Back in Sword and Shield, stores would hold boxes in the back. Now, those boxes are going straight to the consumer, which means there's more scarcity going to be created potentially in the future. Of course, time will tell how that happens, but so far, even weak sets in Scarlet and Violet have performed very well. not to mention rip and shipping. Way more packs are being ripped. Way fewer boxes are being held, in my opinion, at least on the distro slash LGS side. If this is the last hurrah for Surging, I expect some pretty good price movement to go forward, um, at least over the next year, and then definitely after that. So, just some thoughts I have. Stellar Crown, a set that I don't really want, but I have seen some boxes floating around on some LGS sites around $200. Now they might be ripped. Be careful buying those. It's been my experience so far. But Stellar Crown PCTBs recently released on Pokemon Center. Pretty much everybody who wanted one got one, which means that the quantity was huge. Prices have already dropped from 190 all the way down to about $125. So probably a good idea to sell, in my opinion, but if you hold it, you'll probably do pretty well too. So, PCTBs I think are a little overvalued, but maybe not. Maybe not, given the scarcity. Paradox Rift, obviously a set that I think is pretty decent. I don't think it's trash, but there are much better opportunities out there, and I think it's going to be sitting in this price point for a while. But once that G block rotates out, man, we're not getting any more boxes. It's only going to be upwards momentum from there. The question is, how much demand is there for the set? Not a ton. Not a ton, but it's not bad. And there is a little bit of demand out there. But a set that's even better, in my opinion, in the same situation as Pally Evolved, which has way more demand. Obviously, there's a huge, huge whale buyout on ETBs, and they're actually still moving up. So time will tell where these land, but a great promo in that box. Booster boxes are actually holding pretty firm around 360, and still selling pretty consistently, close to $400. So I mean, it's still, for all intents and purposes, a $400 box, which is impressive. And then moving on to, actually, before we move on, 151. I think the ship has sailed for the big products in this set. You'll still find some kind of trickling products throughout the rest of this year and into next, but the big plays are leaving. Currently, a big play is buying these 410 promo boxes for like 70 to 80 bucks. I picked up another for 70 recently. I now have 5. The other 4 I got at MSRP. It's nothing crazy, but it's just more packs to add. And once it gets in the 20s, I'll probably look to take some profit at that point. But 151, we're still getting bundles and machines. Eventually, it's going to be done, and that's going to be a crazy day. But I don't think it's going to happen until well into next year. But I don't think we're getting any significant product for real until then. Although the 10s drop was a big drop. It was like every single Sam's Club got like a whole pallet, which is it's a fair amount, to be fair. But the set's a beast. I'm not buying the UPC. I'm not buying ETBs. I think they're just gone. PCTBs for this price, I think they're gone. So congrats if you have them. Probably a good time to sell. But if you hold them, they'll go up in price just like everything else. Moving on to Sword and Shield, just to cover quickly. Crown Zenith kind of still in a state of limbo, but still a lot of support. I mean, look, loose packs are currently $14, quietly moving up too, I might add. And I don't think we're getting any more Crown Zenith at this point. I think the ship has sailed, so it's pretty much just upwards momentum. I mean, the Shinji promo 4-pack 10 is $80, which is crazy. The Articuno, 75. It's a set where I think the ancillary products will continue to do well because the set is still popular to rip. But ETBs are basically $200. And you could probably find them a little bit lower, but pretty much flat. And I expect some more stagnation as time goes on, but I do expect Crown Zenith to perform pretty well next year once more of that supply continues to dry up. I mean, look, 90 listed, 50 sold in the last month. That is not unhealthy in this market. Crown Zenith is a generational set. Don't forget about it. Brilliant Stars, big talk of the town recently. Boxes as low as $450. Which, in my opinion, all of these Sword and Shield boxes are great buys. I have not been able to source one at all on my own, like in my city. So I might potentially buy one on eBay, but the prices are a little bit higher because they sell so quickly. Probably a good time to leverage some connections, make some trades if you want a product with not very much downside and one that will probably perform very well. So, by the way, we're getting more updates on Ascended Heroes. If you're watching this, the drop is very likely today or tomorrow. Pictures are being uploaded on the back end. Very interesting to see. Silver Tempest, same story. Slightly worse set in my opinion, but it does have the Lugia, which is incredible. Again, $400. You're going to be doing very well for yourself. Chilling Rain, arguably a little bit worse than those two sets, arguably a little bit better than those two sets, but similar price point, about $450. Probably will start being outperformed by Brilliant, maybe even Silver Tempest going forward. But again, I still think it's good buy, close to $400. No problems for me. Lost Origin, I think, is a great buying opportunity. Anything sub $700. Currently selling for like $650. Pretty good buy, in my opinion, but could drop a little bit more in the near future. There's just a lot of quantity out there, and it's hard to support a box at that price point that's not like Fusion level, you know what I mean? And I think Fusion is definitely a neck and shoulders above it. Charizard UPC definitely being a little bit overlooked right now. Potentially bottoming out around this $375, $400 price range. 3 promos, amazing pack selection, Sword and Shield. It's basically an ETF for the era, and you know, Lost Origin, one of the best sets in the era. Fusion Strike, also a good buy opportunity. A little bit more support at these price levels. A little bit expensive, but I do think this will be a $2,000 box at some point in the next few years, no doubt in my mind. And Evolving, I hear people are buying sub 2,000, 16, 1,800. In my opinion, absolute no-brainer buys at this price point, even given how much it's appreciated. This is a generational set, more so than Crown Zenith, more so than any set we've pretty much gotten ever. I can't think of a set that's better off the top of my head. But if sets like Crown's, you know, Cosmic Eclipse and Team Up, and you know, are pushing these crazy price points, this will be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 at some point over the next few years, which will represent a surprisingly good ROI even at these prices. And they're getting fewer and fewer as time goes on. And there's not going to be tons of opportunities to get Evolving Skies packs in bulk going forward. So we'll see what happens, but also a great opportunity to buy, in my opinion. Celebrations, actually performing quite well, holding around 230 or so, seen a little bit of a pop. Probably a good time to buy Celebrations if you're interested in the set. You know, we have the 30th coming out in like 10 months or so, anticipated. And, you know, it's a good set, and it's a great product, and we've seen Generations perform very well, too. I think there might be better opportunities out there, but if you can get a good deal on some Celebrations products, you know, you're going to be doing very well for yourself in the future, but just be careful. Sun and Moon boxes are actually kind of recovering a little bit. Cosmic just recently sold for 35, but recently selling for a little under 2,800 or so. Same thing with Unbroken, Unified. All these Sun and Moon tag team boxes are doing well, but not a ton of action there so far. We have seen money being flowing into Vintage, which is very interesting to see. Generally speaking, but here's kind of your scalper specials in my area. Nothing crazy happening here. A lot of kind of junky stuff like Twilight ETBs and Surging this and that and White Flare this and that. So this is, every time I look and somebody's like, yeah, there's tons of Sword and Shield in my area, this is what mine looks like. So I don't know. Here's some recent sealed items that have sold. Again, Surging, 230 plus tax, 240. Some recent Pokemon Center boxes that were released on the Pokemon Center. Mega Evolution, 270 roughly. Pretty wild. Phantasmal Flames PCTBs have dropped to like 180. And they're probably going to be bottoming out pretty soon. So if you have them, probably worth selling one, holding another. It's probably going to be my plan because my boxes got pretty roughed up, unfortunately. Yeah, 175 free shipping. Charizard EPCs, I think they're selling closer to 170 realistically. But we are getting more, so there's not a ton of sell-through on those. But yeah, just a bunch of other products being sold. Brilliant Stars, not a bad looking box for $435 plus shipping. Pretty good deal. Paldea Evolved, Pretty minty looking box for $375. Not a bad deal. So deals are kind of out there. And if this is like the worst of the market, next year could be crazy. But we don't know what's going to happen. We can only make good decisions on good sets going forward, right? Which is my plan. You know, put money into good stuff that I think will do well long term and not overthink it. So there's still plenty of opportunity in this market, plenty of things being sold. But maybe ultra modern mega sets, be careful putting your money because probably going to get a lot more product and sit a little bit flat for a while. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll be buying sets here and there at low prices. Basically prices I can't say no to. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think we're going on long enough. Best of luck on this Pokemon Center drop. Again, probably today or tomorrow. Another giveaway on Wednesday. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you again to the Shiny app, as always. Very much appreciate you. And guys, thank you again for everything. I'll do kind of more of a thank you on Wednesday, but none of this is possible without you. And I'm just very excited for the future and very thankful for the opportunity to make these videos and have an audience that watches and supports. And I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving week full of relaxation and delicious food and a lot of Pokemon packs because that's kind of what it's looking like. By the way, the collection boxes at Target are not Destined and Journey. They are Surging and Twilight. What the hell? I guess it's not that bad, but I wanted Destined. So, kind of sucks, but still a good deal. Anyway, thank you for watching. Best of luck out there, and I will see you very soon on Wednesday in the next one. Goodbye.